motivated is no other than Ryan Irwin. Ryan, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Mansur. Great to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. So, for the audience or people tuning in, Ryan and I have been friends probably for about maybe 15 years now.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
probably right.
so time's flying by, a long time, and it brings back a lot of memories of our progression in my life, your life, things we decided to do with our business, and everything else. So, I want to let the viewers know that Ryan is a coach. He's a fitness coach. And when I thought about this topic, I wanted it to get the importance, and I wanted it to get it from a coach, right? Somebody who has clients, who's done this a long time, who has experience, knowledge, and background. Why is it important to get a coach?
Man, that's a great question, Mansour. And I think the answer is because it just is common sense. And I say that people, let me try to slow this down. Especially, I'm not just talking to men here, but I think men are notorious for this, but we are proud as individuals. We're proud because we want to do this ourselves. We can figure this out ourselves. And that is probably true, especially with the internet out there. I mean, every information is just a click and away. So why can't we figure it out? Well, time is our most valuable resource. And if you're clicking away on the internet trying to figure this out for yourself, you're not doing the things that you should be doing, what your gift is. And so whether it is fitness, improving their professional life, working on your car, yard work, whatever it is, you hire out those things that you don't need to be wasting your time at. Not only will it help you get to wherever you want to go faster, but it allows you to be better at those other things that you really should be focused on.
You bring up some good points. And a lot of people think coaches are expensive. And I always tell people it's not the coaches that are expensive. It's the expense that you're creating. And just like the things that you touched base on, people are going and buying things that they don't need, or it's not going to work. They're following these advertisements from movie stars and celebrities. It's like they have specialized cooks, trainers, that coaches that take them through this. And it's like, if you don't hire a coach, what's going to end up happening is you're wasting your time, money, and energy, effort on everything else that isn't going to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And, you bring up, the cost. I mean, what's the cost of going the wrong way or doing the wrong thing, or the time wasted that you could accomplish something faster? I mean, heaven forbid that, you do something that is negative or hurts you or something of that nature. I mean, but even if it just takes you another year or two or longer to get there, how much time have you wasted? I mean, put a dollar figure on time, it's extraordinarily high. And so therefore you actually are saving yourself money by hiring somebody to help you get there quicker.
And the clients that I work with in the program that I'm rolling out, it's one of the things that I touch specifically with them, right? I work for a world leading agriculture company, manage a little over $500 million a year. There's a reason why some companies are doing things for us, because we don't want to waste the time. We don't want to waste the energy, the resources, and of course, capital, right? Nobody wants to spend their money on something that's not going to get them where they want to be. Now, you have over 20 years of experience in is it just coaching, or is it specifically the bodybuilding? Because I know you did coaching for bodybuilding and powerlifting, because I had the opportunity to work with you personally.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, it's kind of everything. I mean, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I would say that really probably about 40% of my clients are actually bodybuilders. The other 60% are, what you might call Gen Pop, people who are just looking to feel their best, look their best. Some end up becoming bodybuilders, or some decide to do powerlifting or whatever. But at the end of the day, the process is very similar. It's just, what's that final goal? Where do we take it?
It's we're talking about this, and one of the people watching this stream, Trent Bells, says, "Hey, he was my personal trainer 10 years ago." Well, there goes the experience, right? I know you've been doing this. You had your own store, so you not only know the science far as the body of how it acts, reacts to food, and I also think that food makes us think different, because there are food that kind of compress you, right? just because they might have so many fats in them, or they might have, and what's the word I'm looking for? But they're not. It's not pure food. It seems like it's more of a chemical food. Hamburger is different, the one you buy fresh, and then the one that has preservatives and 300 milligrams of sodium and everything else with it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, your body is an amazing machine, and just like any machine out there, I mean, if you put improper fuel in it, it's not going to work the best. And so, you've got many facets to that. You've got the energy that you get from it. You've got the hormonal response. You've got the blood sugar response. You've got the things in your brain as far as those neurons and how they fire. So, I mean, we all know that when we eat something or drink something that isn't good for us or isn't as good as it should be, we don't feel that good. We don't work as well. And that is different for everybody. In nutrition, there is very little black and white, because like everything with the human body, we're all individual. And so what can work great for somebody else might not work well for the other person. But again, each individual, that's part of the process. And me as a coach is to figure out, okay, what makes you the best you can be? And then let's focus on that.
It brings back memories when I was working with you, and when I had my fair share of diets. They all worked, but when you tweaked them, you knew exactly what you were tweaking and when within the week, right? And I think that's very, very important. Most people, they either keep the same food, or they're not sure what food or what amount to hit. And all of that it's a science, right? And if you want to get to an end result and you want to get to a goal, all of those numbers, they add up to something, right? And it's your total sum, your result.
Absolutely. And it's not just the science behind it. I mean, because again, if you want to spend the time and go through and do the calculations and figure things out, you might be able to get there, but it's the process to get to that point, and it's the habits. And I think that as a coach, my job is as much about oversight and accountability and helping through those stumbling blocks as it is to create that plan. Because even with the perfect plan, the perfect program, if somebody can't get there or doesn't know what to do when they trip and they fall, it's not going to work.
And I think that's huge. Accountability is huge, because if you want to get to a result, you have to hold yourself accountable. And, we think the way we think because of our environment, of our work, our family life, whatever it might be. Sometimes you need somebody from the outside that can view and see a different picture, right? Especially
Absolutely.
if it's somebody that's a coach. When you have experience and you've done this for a long amount of time, you probably already know what kind of hurdles your clients will be facing and what you need to give them so they can get over those hurdles, right? Is it something that you need to have them check in once a week? Do you need to make adjustments to their food? Do they need to do more cardio? Whatever it might be.
Yeah. And that's part of the whole intake process and that initial assessment. It's like we figure out, okay, what are your goals? What is it that you want to accomplish? But then I also ask, what are these obstacles or challenges that that we're going to run into, that we're going to have to overcome? And so by identifying those, and it's different for everybody, we can kind of be proactive and say, okay, these are the things in place that we need to make happen. For example, if, I've got a stay-at-home mom, she's got 5 kids and she's got, a home gym, and that's all she can do. It's like, okay, well, hey, how can we make this work? We're going to use your home gym equipment. We're going to figure out, okay, what time of the day, usually morning, that you own, and work around that for that person to succeed. And it's different for everybody.
And it's one of the things that I had to adjust just because of my work schedule, home life and stuff. And of course, with COVID and everything that's here, hey, am I working out in the morning? Am I working out at night? And it's very important to write that and pencil that in. I know you're an author. Every Day Counts, Owning Your Life with Ryan Irwin. I'm going to post that for the viewers here in the comment section. Great book, and I love how you go through it, especially on page 42, and you list out things because our lives are very hectic, right? And we develop these habits, and sometimes it's very hard to break habits because we are used to doing what we have been doing, and if we think it's working, we're going to continue doing it. there that becomes a problem a little bit, because we become stagnant. Our muscle can only grow so much. We can only recover so much. We can only intake so much food and do so much cardio, and I think that's all very important, especially when it comes to somebody's overall health, right?
Absolutely. You nailed two big things, two big points there. I think the first one is to be uncomfortable, and it's one of those things where I've been training myself for 30 years now. And in order for myself to make progress, I have to get uncomfortable. And it's really hard because the longer you do something, the easier it is to get into patterns. And those might be good patterns, but they might not be the pattern you should always do. And so that's something that I recently discovered over the past year. I had to change some things that I've always done because it was too comfortable. And so, making things uncomfortable then will help you make progress. But I think the other thing that you really hit on there is the importance of owning your schedule, and I think that, that's one of the things that, again, going back to habits, I think we have to hang those on the tree of owning your schedule because, again, time is fleeting. And even though you have the best intentions and these big goals and really high motivation, if you don't master your schedule, you are setting yourself up for failure 100%.
That's very true. And when I started out with my business, I had 100 different things going through my mind. And, I learned how to meditate, believe it or not for a long time, but I can keep myself still for about 5 minutes. So I'm proud of that.
Awesome.
Because you know what I'm like. I am usually on the go. And, we all have one of these days,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
We're always on the phone, and we have, and it's very important for us, and I talked to an individual yesterday, to have that self-care, self-respect, and be able to allocate time where it's just our time.
Yes.
Right. A lot of people say, but that's your business. That's your industry. I totally get it. The industry is not going anywhere. The business is not going to go anywhere. But I need that alone time. I need that reset time. And just like with diets, with nutrition and everything, you need a time where, you might go out there and have a cheat meal and kind of revamp yourself and re-energize so you can hit the next week. So you don't exhaust yourself, because a lot of people, that's exactly what they do. They end up exhausting themselves.
Yeah, you have to buffer your time. I mean, that's, again, as being, self-employed, I have got to completely double down on my schedule. And that was part of things that I had to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to make that happen? And I actually scheduled my blocks of time about 6 to 7 weeks in advance so I can keep those times sacred. And then I can put the other things, the other appointments, the other meetings on top of that. Because if not, I'm going to chew that up. And I don't care how much knowledge or good intentions I have. If my cup's empty, I'm not going to be able to pour on to others. So really setting those critical blocks, figuring out what are critical, what needs to be a priority, sleep, training, time with your family, just downtime, putting those things on your calendar so that way you can make sure that you hold those sacred and non-negotiable. Then you can worry about the other stuff.
You probably hear a lot of people say, and I've heard it myself, when they say they don't have time. What is one of the first things that runs through your mind when they tell you that they don't have time?
Well, I always empathize. I say, look, I get it. I appreciate that. I understand that. But one word that I really, really, really despise, and I try not to say, is the word busy. Because when I hear the word busy, I think of unorganization. I think of just flying by your shirt tails, just letting the things come at you 90 miles an hour, not knowing which way's up. So I prefer the term productive. And so, I actually spent a time period of trying to force myself to be as productive as possible. My calendar is completely full. If you look at it, it's completely full. I'm not busy, I'm productive, but I've got those blocks of time in there for the things I need to focus on. So anybody can do anything and has the time to do it. It's just you have to prioritize what it is that you want to accomplish and then set things in motion from that perspective.
I love that you said that, because you have to be productive and you have to be constructive, right? People say we're busy. It's like, you are busy, but what are you busy doing, right? If you're having 30 minutes or an hour every single day where you're watching a show, but it has no benefit to you, it's probably something that you can put in that slot that actually has a benefit towards you, right? So here's a great example, and you might laugh, and that's okay. My parents love watching Wheel of Fortune and The Price is Right. You know,
Sure.
I know they watch Price is Right in the morning, and I don't. It's like, you know what? I am gonna go on my walk, but I also know it's about the middle of the day for me. When I go on my walk, just because I go to work early, that's my reset time, right? It's like, hey, I've sat in an office setting, office environment. My brain's been working the whole day. I take that for me time, and I'll go on my walk, right? I'll post a quick video, but I'm going to get me time in there, and then when I go back to work, it seems like it flies by a little faster.
Yeah, yeah, and that looks different for everybody. My habits that work for me might not work for somebody else. But I think the key is to figure out what it is for that individual person. I mean, yeah, there's some things that I don't do because I find that it takes me away from where my goal is. And I would love to be either a fly on the wall in somebody else's room who doesn't feel they have the time, or invite them to be a fly on my wall, and then we can glean off of that and figure out, okay, what's going on there that I'm missing out on. And there might be things that I'm missing out on that I need. In fact, I'm sure there's things that I could incorporate in my life. But again, that's the process. That's how we improve. And again, coming from a coach, that's what a coach does, and helps people identify what those nuggets are that they need to focus on.
And I think your experience and your experience, your education, and everything that you've gone through, put the pieces together for you and kind of gave you a purpose. It gave you that vision of what you wanted it to do out of your life. And I know you've been doing this for a long time, but you're also very passionate about this. Talk a little bit about, some of the things or some of the thoughts you had go through your mind when you went on this journey that you wanted it to be, go in business by yourself, be a business owner, be an entrepreneur. What are some of the thoughts that went through your mind?
Man, that's a great question. And it's something that, I talk a little bit about in the book, but, I've initially, when I started, as an entrepreneur, I thought I knew what it was. I mean, I had a business, I had a storefront, like you said, I had 3 stores, had partners, had employees, had all this. And I thought that this was what it was. This is what it was supposed to be. And I got in there and I'm like, yeah, it's close, but it's not exactly what. And that's when I found coaching. And as I was coaching people, as I was coaching clients, I was like, this is it. This is what I was born to do. And so it took time. I mean, it took time to get to that point. And, a lot of trips, a lot of failures along the way, and it's still growing, it's still changing, still morphing, and hopefully always does. That's part of the process. But, it took not a year, it took years, many, many years to get to this point, to grow it to the point where this is now what I want. It's what I designed, and this is what I want to do and how I want to do it.
I love that you said that, and that's what I teach my clients, right? Sometimes clients say, well, I can't see that. How long will it take? Sometimes you just got to believe, right? You got to have faith and you got to believe, because you never know when something's going to pan out. Sometimes it's just having the right connection, right? Connecting to the right people, connecting to the right industry, connecting to the right technology. The thing we do know is if you quit, or if you stop chasing your goals, if you stop chasing your dreams and your vision, you'll already know the answer. But we all have the ability and the capability and something within us that we're good, that we're truly passionate about. And, once we find out, you're absolutely right. You're going to have things coming on the side. It might be people, it might be things, it might be other companies, whatever it might be. We're going to have things that trip us up, but that's part of the process, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you hear it often, and it's so true. Fail often, fail fast, and if anything, I haven't failed fast enough. I had my business for 10 years. And it took that long. I probably should have, cut that time in half. And then after that, I went back to corporate for 5 years as I reconstructed my business. I probably should have cut that in half, but I tell you what, it's one of those things though, you're never going to feel comfortable. When I walked in and gave my boss my resignation, was I extremely confident that, oh, this was a good, no, I was scared. I was like worried, I'm shaking, the adrenaline's going. But I look back and it's like, man, I can't be more thankful that I did what I did.
And sometimes we have to put ourselves in those situations, right? If you keep doing what you've always done, you're always going to limit yourself to what you know.
Yep.
And that's why I wanted it to bring you on, and I wanted it to give a different perspective from a coach in the health nutrition industry, right? I know when I was going through bodybuilding and I was going to powerlifting, I knew some of it, nowhere close to what you knew, but I had to equip and I had to connect with somebody who knew this, because I was on a mission, on a goal. Hey, I want to be on stage. I want to powerlift. I want to get leaner. I want to get stronger. And it's the process. It didn't always go easy. There was time where I was frustrated, but that's the part of the process that I was learning about myself. And long as you're learning and developing and you keep going, you're not really failing at anything. You're just becoming more equipped on what's working, what's not, what you keep, what you don't, and you just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Life's built on experiences. The more experiences you have, the more life you got. And that's exactly it.
I back in high school when I did this, and a lot of schools and colleges, they give you an overview, right? But education can only take you so far. And, some people get mad that I say that, but everybody knows that education only takes you so far. When you go to apply for a job, that's exactly what they have. They have, what is your education and what is your experience? When companies want to pay you big bucks and they want to give you your salaries, your bonuses, whatever it might be, they want to make sure that they can get the most out of you, right? They want to make sure, hey, how much education, how much understanding does this individual have, right? From the pool that they're choosing from. And I think it's very important that, people have education, but they also have experience, and they continue to grow because technology is changing. Our experiences change. The way we perceive things change. And it's a lot of things that sometimes we put in our mind that's repetitive, but it's really not. It's what we're thinking of it. And it's that thought that's repetitive, and the situation might not be.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that, that's why, like for myself, like when I'm interviewing a candidate to work with them, I mean, I get them on the phone as soon as I can or on a video call, because it's one thing to see nice emails that are edited or who knows what, or copy paste and stuff, but then to actually have a conversation with somebody. That's why in the hiring process, they have interviews. I mean, you might get an interview based on what's on your resume, but then it's your job to go into those interviews and sell yourself and say, hey, yeah, okay, this is my accolades, but here I am, And so again, when I'm talking with a potential client, getting to build that rapport, really figuring what they are on an individual level, from a personal level. And then that really then helps, I think, cement the bond as a coach-client relationship. It also gives me and them a better, more comfort, and also can really accelerate the process right out of the gate.
And that's very important, right? You want to know your clients just like you want to know your business. You want to know the industry. You want to know the market. And you want to know what's going on so you can adjust your sales as needed. Like I mentioned before, Every Day Counts. This is your book. I'm going to drop the link there. I know you have Instagram. Where are the best places to get a hold of you? Those of you that know me, that have me on Facebook, or want to get a hold of Ryan, you can send me a message if you have my number. If not, you can message me. But Ryan, what's one of the best ways people can get a hold of you?
Man, I mean, I'm connected on all the social media platforms. I mean, Facebook, Instagram. You can go to my website, link me there. And YouTube. Hopefully I'm pretty easy to find. That's my goal.
I think you are. And, our viewers here, if you have not met Ryan Irwin, or you have not seen Ryan, he actually does a show. He hosts a show here. Now, do you host also other bodybuilding shows? I know the one that you do is here at Hoyt Herman. That's once a year, correct, in the summertime?
Yep. I do put on bodybuilding competitions, and actually this year I'm adding another one in Cedar Falls, Iowa, which of course I conveniently have a poster right here. So this is September 11th. So this one's coming up here in about a month. So, but I travel all over the place. I'm really involved in the industry, and I love it. So. But certainly if somebody's interested in either just learning more about the sport, feel free to shoot me a message, or want to come watch one or support somebody that it's a great thing to see people achieve some amazing goals and what they've accomplished.
It definitely changed my life. When I met you long time ago, it's something that I've always wanted it to do, push myself to the next level, right? And it's like, going to one of those shows and attending that, it's like, hey, I want to do that. Had no idea what I was signing up for as the diets, the training, but it's worth everything. I mean, because you're developing yourself. You can't buy it. You have to put in the work, and the work shows you results at the end of the day. And I am blessed and honored to have met you, and you're doing incredible things. So keep on going, and hope to see you real soon.
Yes, Mansur, thank you. And again, my friend, it's been a long time and just been amazing to see what you've accomplished in your time and what you're going to continue to accomplish, but especially what you're going to help others accomplish. And that is what is called giving back. And that's what I'm excited about. So thank you again. My pleasure, my honor being on this show, and keep making every day count.
You're very welcome. And to my viewers, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because of people like him. You have to have good quality people around you that are on a mission, that have goals themselves, because those are the people that are going to stand behind you, give you input, give you ideas, and tell you things that are going to get you closer to your goal, right? We have a lot of people that bombard us. You can't do it. You shouldn't do it. We have to let go of that. That's their personal opinion. We have to get on board with quality people, because they're the ones that are going to get you to the result that you want. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. Look to have you on again on my podcast. I'm going to drop the link of the book in the comment section. And, those of you that want to contact Ryan, you can do it through me, or you can reach out to him. If you cannot find him, if you Google his name, you will find him.
Thank you again, Mansur.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.